This presentation is brought to you by the Baldwin-Chesterfield, Missouri branch of the American Association of University Women.
Supporting women and girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics has been a part of AAUW's mission since its founding in 1881. After World War I in 1919, Marie Curie's groundbreaking research had come to a halt due to a lack of funds. However, AAUW members from Maine to California helped raise an astonishing $156,413, enabling Curie to purchase 1 gram of radium and continue her experiments. They helped her create the field of nuclear chemistry and forever change the course of science.
Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Marie Curie.
As you know, women have made tremendous progress in education and the workplace during the past 50 years. Despite the overall positive trends in high school, such as the number of girls in higher-level math and science classes, the transition from high school to college is a critical time for young women to commit to taking courses leading to careers in STEM fields.
Recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show a puzzling underrepresentation of women in STEM fields. This figure shows the percentage of employed STEM professionals who are women in fields such as biology, chemistry, environmental and computer science, and various types of engineering. Compare the relatively high percentage of women in biological sciences with the extremely low representation of women in various engineering fields, an average of about 10%. It is important that we continue to pay attention to this issue because of its implications for the needs of the workforce, for high-tech workers, and a more diverse workforce that can enhance innovation.
Why So Few features research findings that provide evidence that social and environmental factors clearly contribute to the underrepresentation of girls and women in the STEM fields. The remainder of this presentation will help you find out about key findings of the study that relate to girls from youth through high school, what parents, educators, and the community can do to effect change, and what difference our actions will make. The first finding comes from the research of Carol Dweck, a psychologist at Stanford University, who looks at beliefs about intelligence. She finds that believing in the potential for intellectual growth in and of itself improves outcomes. Dr. Dweck's research provides evidence that a growth mindset, as opposed to a fixed mindset, especially benefits girls in math and science.
She says, in our culture, struggle is often a bad word. But when you think about a career in science or math or anything, of course you struggle. That's the name of the game. If you're going to discover something new or invent something new, it's a struggle. So I encourage educators to celebrate that and to say, who had a fantastic struggle? Tell me about your struggle.
The table shown here illustrates that finding. Individuals with a fixed mindset believe that intelligence is static. Therefore, they tend to avoid challenges, give up easily when obstacles appear, see effort as fruitless, ignore feedback, and they can be threatened by others' success. In contrast, individuals with a growth mindset believe that intelligence can be developed. They want to learn more and tend to embrace challenges, persist when obstacles appear, see effort as a path to mastery, learn from criticism, and be inspired by others' success. These findings are important for all students, but especially for girls in STEM, where negative stereotypes persist about their abilities.
This study also profiles research by Dr. Joshua Aronison, a psychologist at New York University, who shows that negative stereotypes about girls' abilities in math and science persist and can adversely affect their performance in these fields through a phenomenon known as stereotype threat. Stereotype threat arises in situations where a person fears that her or his performance will be evaluated based on a negative stereotype.
In one experiment, researchers gave a math test to two groups of female and male college students with similar math abilities. One group was told that men perform better than women do on the test, stereotype threat group, and the other group was told there were no gender differences. The results are shown in the graph here. The conclusions support the findings that females' performance improved where there was no threat perceived. This result shows again and again in other experiments. The good news is that when the threat is removed, performance improves significantly.
The study also profiles research by Dr. Shelley Carell, sociologist at Stanford University, on gender differences in self-assessment, or how good you think you are at a particular activity or subject. Figure 16 shows that girls are usually harder on themselves when told that men are better at a task than women. However, if told there is no gender difference, women's and men's self-assessments are almost identical.
In Figure 17, these graphs show the group where students were told that men are better, women indicated that they would have to earn at least 89% to think that they had high ability in that area. Men thought that a score of 79% would indicate high ability. If told that there was no gender difference, men and women had a much more similar idea of high ability. There are many elements to choosing courses and a career, but researchers agree one significant element is believing that you can be successful at it.
The fourth finding is illustrated in this puzzle. Can you select which figure completes the rotation by using mental manipulation? Did you choose figure D? You are correct. In the report, researchers also looked at the area of spatial skills learning. Spatial skills are thought to be critically important for success in STEM fields, especially engineering. One of the largest and most persistent gender gaps in cognitive skills is found in this area, where boys consistently outperform girls on average.
Dr. Cheryl Sorby's research with first-year engineering students at Michigan Tech provides insight into how spatial skills are not innate. They can improve dramatically in a short time with a simple training course. Scores improve from an average of 52% before the course to an average of 82% after the course. Having good spatial skills can help girls pursue their interest in science and math because we use spatial skills to interpret diagrams, graphs, and drawings from as early as elementary school.
The following slides provide recommendations to affect positive change. First, a growth mindset matters. How can we teach that intellectual skills can be acquired?
Students need to know that the brain is like a muscle that gets stronger and works better the more it is exercised. Over time, by exercising their brains, they will become smarter. That's why we praise effort and persistence and value growth and learning.
We can also make sure students understand that passion, dedication, and self-improvement, not simply innate talent, are the roads to genius and contribution. Innate ability is simply a springboard for growth. Celebrate the struggle.
Second, stereotypes persist. Here are two prevalent stereotypes. 1. Girls are not as good as boys in math. And 2. Scientific work is better suited to boys and men. Research shows that these stereotypes are false.
We know that specific interventions reduce these prevalent stereotypes. Here's what we can do. 1. Expose girls and boys to successful female role models. 2. Teach students and teachers about stereotype threat. Simply pointing out that such stereotypes exist helps reduce their influence.
Third, environment and culture influence self-assessment. Same grade on an assignment or exam often signals something different to girls than to boys. A teacher's statement such as, "If you got above an 80% on this test, you are doing a great job in this class," gives girls an objective standard for self-assessment, negates stereotypes, and creates a culture of respect. Parents can follow this recommendation also.
Finally, spatial skills can be learned. You can encourage young children and students to play with construction toys, take things apart and put them back together again, play games that involve fitting objects into different places, draw, and work with their hands. Whenever possible, teach using actual 3D models.
Remember 1957 and the shock news that the Soviet Union had launched the first satellite, Sputnik? The push was on to ramp up our nation's ability to lead the world in scientific and technological innovation. Today, scientific reports and books like The World is Flat by Tom Friedman call for a renewed and equal effort in the 21st century. Unfortunately, many see a great potential for our leadership diminishing or even disappearing if our country is no longer turning out enough of the best and the brightest scientists and engineers.
The actions that we take as parents, educators, and members of the community will affect the future for all of us. The Why So Few research study focuses on girls, but most of the findings are applicable to all our youth. Business, education, scientific communities agree that our nation's future competitiveness is tied to innovation. 9 out of 10 of the fastest growing occupations that require a college degree also require a focus in math and science. For now and into the foreseeable future, STEM fields can provide better job security, compensation and benefits, and satisfaction that the work being done is vital and worthwhile.
Thank you for taking your time to consider the findings and their implications, especially for school-age girls. The entire report can be downloaded at www.aauw.org. The AAUW Baldwin-Chesterfield, Missouri branch is responsible for creating this short presentation of the findings and recommendations. You may contact Betty Boudet, Marcia Block, or Mary Jermack, or our Technology Chair, Joyce Katz, for more information.